Welcome back to Mewni Mayhem on the Roundtable. I'm your host, Ostrich Vox, and today I'm joined with VGMarkis.
How's everybody doing today?
And we're here to talk about the 2-hour season premiere movie, or season 3 premiere movie, Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Battle for Mewni. And oh my god, these 7 episodes were so amazing. I'm glad they dropped them all at once instead of weekly, like they did, prior to this. Because imagine, having only 2 episodes weekly, I would have died.
Dude, if they did that weekly, I would have lost my mind. For example, ending the first episode off with, the sentence, Toffee and his monsters killed my mother, and just ends, I really have to wait a week to find out about this.
Well, no, if they would have aired 2 episodes a week like they usually do, so it would have ended at Movie Undaunted, and then, but these episodes, I think that was the original plan, because Season 3 was supposed to start in the summer, but now they decided to do this and then air Season 3 in the fall, officially. So,
yeah.
Oh my god, the original plan would have been torturous. But, let's start at Return to Mewni, and you actually came to this episode pretty late in the game. This was mostly just set up for the overarching story arc and the movie in general. We open up, it ends directly where Star Crush ended. We have Marco moping around his house. His parents are like, why are you being so sad? It turns out Star's actually watching him from the carriage. She's like, Marco, stop moping around. Why do you have to be so cute? And throughout these episodes, she's just a lot more open about her feeling towards Marco now the cat's out of the bag, which I think is a pretty interesting character change. I wonder if they're going to keep that up. Something that kind of made me raise my eyes that Jackie she didn't even stay to comfort Marco. I mean, granted, it was 3 a.m., but, did she just leave when the party ended? How is that entire plot thread going? Because she wasn't in this special at all, which we'll get to at the end with, the closing thoughts. But that really took me by surprise.
Yeah, she was just kind of MIA the whole time. They didn't touch on that whatsoever. And there's still that whole thing about her not being in the opening and stuff, and she'll even, have a big role in Season 3 at all. What's going to go on with that?
Yeah, but... Yeah. Star and Moon go to this sanctuary, this glossary-looking sanctuary, to revive the Magical High Commission, and something that kind of pulled my heartstring a bit is the Magical High Commission, they're on balloons, or no, they're not on balloons, they are being used as balloons, as transportation, and Moon told Star that Lickmit would meet them there, but when Star questions that, we see Moon tuck away his little horn, and then when they're actually in the sanctuary later on, when they're arguing, Star's I bet Lickmit's not even gonna meet us here, and then Moon just says, Lickmit's dead, it's confirmed, he's gone.
It sucks.
Which is pretty heavy. And, overall this episode was set up. There wasn't too much going on.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. That and, the King River episodes are, the 2, set-up-y type episodes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, what was really much in this episode? I mean, I know that the Magic High Commission, they drifted off and got stuck in a tree, and then they had to climb up and get them. There's the bois scene with the crocodiles. Those crocodiles were actually the entrance to the sanctuary, which was pretty cool. Art and animation was pretty standard from what we got since last season. Like I said, that didn't really stood out to me. But the ending of this episode goes directly into Moon the Undaunted, which is completely a flashback episode. There's no narration or anything. It's just complete 12 minutes of flashbacks. And it was great, but this is another thing where I feel like Star excels with compared to more shows when they do flashbacks. There's other shows, they really kind of keep you in the dark, and the flashbacks aren't really long, but this was an entire flashback. And not only that, they gave you enough without giving everything away.
Yeah. A lot of shows with flashbacks that'll go back and forth between present day and the flashback, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah. This whole thing was flashback was, nice change of pace.
Here we jump in. Moon's mother's already dead, and it kind of disproves the theory that started up that maybe Heinous was Moon's mother, who faked her death for whatever reason. But we actually see her cheek marks, and it's not the spades. Yeah. No, not spades. What are clubs. Yeah, clubs. Yeah. So that theory probably got disproved. Who knows in this show? But yeah, we see young Moon, we see young River, we see a younger Mina. Moon's mother, as I said, is already dead. So Moon's already queen, and it's really you see the castle, the entire kingdom. They're still kind of adjusting to that because they keep having to remind themselves, oh yeah, she's queen now. And River kind of speaks up for Moon, trying to make her own decisions. I wonder because we see River here, he's a lot more nervous, he's a lot more compassionate. Like, how do you kind of go from that to like the complete party animal he is now? Like, at what point did he just start cutting loose?
I don't know, man.
And
maybe he's really nervous around Moon or something.
Yeah, and seeing their relationship blossom and like their like awkward interactions was adorable. I loved it.
I know.
He was like, "Did I just call the queen pal?" And and I loved it. And we finally saw Eclipsa. Oh my god!
I'm so happy.
I was
she's such a
fanboying.
goofball. She was like B4, and then it cuts to the vending machine. I'm like, are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah, it was like beef. Like her entire like first dialogue is just a one big joke. It's like B4. Moon's like, what before? And we look over, it's a vending machine. She wants to be fed. And this also confirms that Romulus didn't crystallize Eclipsa on a hunch. He was likely ordered to, because she was crystallized for hundreds of years. So that's really interesting that they don't want to kill her, but rather imprison her. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. Like, maybe... I mean, it might be a little stretch here. Maybe she can't be killed.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they want to use her as, like, you know, kind of a last resort, kind of like what Moon had to do, like, for situations like that.
Yeah.
Because without Eclipse's help, she wouldn't have been able to do Toffee. And by the way, like, I liked that, you know, it showed the whole thing with Toffee getting his finger blasted off, but it wasn't what I expected, you know, because when you saw the tapestry, it looked like they were in, like, the midst of a full-scale battle. But when it happened in the flashback, they were at, like, their base or whatever, and she just kind of blasted his finger off, and then the army ran away.
Mm.
I mean, it was still cool, but it wasn't what I expected, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, it was pretty underwhelming, because you see the tapestry and into the wand, and it's, like, outside Mewni Castle. Toffee's, like, in midair, he has a weapon in his hand. Moon's,
like that half-moon weapon.
Yeah, and then here, what really happened was Moon showed up. She, like, basically taunted him into attacking, and then she just awkwardly misses, and he just gets embarrassed and walks away. It's like, what? Like, I was betting someone like big grand confrontation, and she was really peaceful how she approached him for someone who just like bodied her own mother. Like,
for real.
So the execution, could have been better, but it was still. I think I was satisfied with it.
Yeah, it was still good. It's just, you know, like I said, it just wasn't what I expected, you know, from like the tapestry and all that. I thought it was going to be more action-packed, but wasn't bad.
Yeah, definitely. And it still raises more questions like, what exactly is the Mutant Monster Accord? They mention it in the book. It gets briefly mentioned here with Mina and Magic Light Commission, but it's pretty glossed over. So that's why I think all of this isn't over yet. Toffee isn't over yet, even though we'll get to that in a bit. Because we really don't have a big clue of what really happened during that war, or how long this war lasted, or Eclipse's involvement in it. Although Eclipse did make a deal with Moon for freedom, which obviously is going to come into play for the latter half of this season. Woo! And there's also confirmed, me and Haley did a discussion on if Eclipse is really evil. And here it confirms that she probably actually isn't evil. She's just like kind of a wild card. She's like a chaotic neutral. Because even she's like, oh, that's what they're calling my chapter. And Moon's like, yeah, we didn't, I didn't decide that name. That's what they're calling it. So I'm really interested to see Eclipse's future dynamic. How old is Eclipse? Because Star says she died hundreds of years ago. And
she's like 7 or 8 generations ahead of me. Like, I know Glossary said like great. I don't remember like how much greats he said though. So probably at least like 200 or 300.
Yeah,
at least.
And I can see going back through like not all these episodes, but especially this one, just see like a further breakdown of it. Of course, these reviews are very off the cuff, like first impressions. But I mean, I think this was a pretty enjoyable. I love seeing Young Moon. I loved seeing like every
Young Moon's voice, Eclipse's voice. They were very well done.
Yeah, we need more episodes like this. I hope we do get more episodes just entirely set in the past. Because, like I said, there's a bigger mystery at play.
Yeah. We don't really know, like, what Eclipse's ambitions are.
Yeah, and I feel like we never even got Toffee's ambitions in this entire special. And
yeah, like, is he just evil? He just likes to screw stuff up? I don't really get it. Like, he never really gave a purpose as to why he wants to, like, take over Mewni Castle and he's doing all these things to the Butterfly family. Because remember that whole, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but when Mina was interrogating that monster, wasn't he saying like they were about to do like the whole peace treaty thing, but then Toffee was the one who went rogue and ordered the killing of Moon's mom?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the question is why, and they never really explained that. But hopefully Toffee, like you said, isn't fully dead.
Yeah, I mean, and overall, I'm glad we don't know every single thing about Toffee, every single nook and cranny, because that's how you know not only he's gonna be back, but it keeps you engaged and it feeds you what you want to know. Because when we saw that tapestry, a lot of people were thinking, okay, like, how did that exactly went down? We know how that went down now, but now it's a question of why did it, like, what brought him to this point? Now that's the bigger mystery. So that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah, true.
But like I said, just the overall execution of it could have been better. The directing of that scene could have been better. Not saying it's bad. I don't want anyone to be like, oh my god, like, why are you ragging on it? No, I still think this was a good episode. I still think all these episodes were solid.
For real.
Art and animation in this episode particularly was really good. The animation was really fluid, which makes me kind of sad. And I think it's also kind of a censorship thing. Like, they couldn't have Moon blowing off Toffee's finger be too brutal. But it just kind of happened. There was no, like no punch to it. Which, I think kind of shows a testament to how young Moon was, how much of a scrub she was to this. The fact that, like, she had no control of the dark magic, and it was just like, boop!
Yeah, she was literally Star's age, and she was, queen and had to go through all this stuff.
Yeah, so I get it. I definitely get it. Something else I wanted to say. Oh, yeah. Another thing I speculated on with Michael last week was, for our final predictions video, was that Moon's arm was be tainted from Eclipse's deal, and that seemed to come fruition not only in this episode, but later on in the movie. So, I thought it'd be permanent, like it'd always be there, but it seems like it just kind of fades away, but it does, like, pop up every now and then when she encounters dark magic. So that's really interesting. I can't wait to see where that goes. Overall, I think this is like my third favorite episode of the entire movie.
Yeah, probably same, actually.
Yeah, but this is where we might disagree, because the next episode, Book Be Gone, this was my second favorite. I don't know what about it, but the entire Ludo Toffee dynamic I'm gonna miss, because like, there was just so much tension, like, and I get this is a kid show, it's mostly counter-driven show, but the most tension in this entire series, or all these episodes, is when you just have Ludo, and you're waiting for Toffee to take over. And this kind of confirmed that Toffee didn't absorb glossary. He told him to hide and Star Crush, which I found kind of disappointing. It was like all that mystery just for, like, oh yeah, I told him to hide.
Yeah, I know. It's like, where's he at? He was gone for, like, the entire season 2. He's like, oh, he's just over there. You just can't see him.
Yeah, and I love how coy glossary was throughout this entire episode. He's like, oh yeah, you destroyed it. Well, not you, but you still did it. I love glossary. He shined, I think, the brightest here, just because he really doesn't have a side, and he's a teacher to everybody. Like, what he did to Ludo here is what he would have done to Star. He was very... He left him in the dark, like, yeah, I'm gonna have you figure it out yourself, but, I'm still gonna be here and dick around while you do that.
Yeah, he treats, like, everybody the same. Even when, like, the book was burning and Toffee had taken over at the end, he was still, calm and chill and treating it like it was nothing.
Yeah, and Ludo in this episode, like, we got, again, some more character development, like, oh, you like Star better, and we see that, like, Ludo is very insecure about what he can do. And, like, it's like, oh yeah, you've defeated the Magical Eye Commission, and it's like, wait, I did? Like, I don't remember it, but let's just roll with it. I love Ludo. I definitely think he's one of my favorite characters. He needs a crowning moment, and he sort of got that later on in the episode Toffee.
Yeah, at the way end, he kind of a little bit. That made me happy. One thing I wish that they could have done in the book for Ludo, is that what the episode was called? I'm fucking done.
Book Be Gone.
Book Be Gone. Oh my god. I was surprised that he didn't, like, catch on to the whole, Toffee being inside him thing with the finger being gone and his hand being bigger. I mean, if he eventually caught on with Star explained it to him, but
Yeah.
They were just kind of teasing us for a while. I mean, I get it's build up, but
favorite scene of this entire episode, one of my favorite scenes of the entire special was when Ludo decided to burn the book.
Yeah, I just chucked it in the fire.
And again, this is how the series excels so well at tension. Because you close the book, it turns to like green flames, it like erupts, it falls down, and you see Toffee's in control. That was perfect execution. That was perfect timing. And Glossary's like, well, you got him what you wanted to do. And then Toffee's like, oh, that was all Ludo. I just wanted him to go to Mewni. Like, and it was just like, bro, like, Glossary and Toffee's dynamic too was so great. And it's like,
I know.
Like, does Toffee and Glossary know each other? Oh, they have to know each other. Because there's more to this story. Like, their history goes beyond Moon. I thought maybe their history included Moon, but because they're on the first name basis, like, Toffee should not know that much about the book and Glossary just from Moon. Like, there's something we're not being told here.
Yeah, Moon and Toffee don't really know each other like that. Like, I don't think they'd even. Well, I shouldn't say they wouldn't know each other. He never killed her mom, but still, yeah. It seems like the relationship between Toffee and Glossary is a lot deeper than the relationship between Moon and Toffee.
Woo! But yeah, Glossary got bodied, and his quote unquote death scene was very Glossary-esque while still being sad. Like, you have the music cue that played from Raid the Cave when he was like friends. Well, that's a simple concept, and he's burning it. His final dialogue in the quote unquote living world is a quip about pudding.
Classic Glossary.
And he just burns up. So this does confirm what I theorized before, that Glossary is tied to the book. If the book goes, Glossary goes, which...
Yep.
Wow. And we never really get a resolution to the book thing, which I think will be touched up later on in the season. But we see Glossary in the season 3 opening in Mewni, although we are getting an updated opening, but I'll get touched on later on. So Glossary's fate, even after the episode Toffee, is still kind of in limbo. But yeah, overall, this is probably my second favorite episode, just because everything about it, the tension, the dynamics, truly shined here.
Yeah, like anytime Toffee is like taking over Ludo, even like the few times he's done it, it's always perfect timing.
Yeah.
He always comes in at just the right times, and it's great.
Now, this takes us to what I think was probably the weakest episode, Marco and the King. And the reason why it was so weak, it was just because it felt like not a filler, not like we had to fill time, because Marco did come to Mewni, and we had some kind of plot progression, some kind of character development for River, but it was just something was missing.
Yeah, it just, I don't know, like the entire episode, it was just, you know, him. He was partying in the beginning, and it was just him trying to, run his castle. I mean, granted, it was cool, you know, seeing the character development with him. I just think it was kind of executed not that well compared to like the other episodes.
Yeah, you think you could have executed a lot better?
Yeah, it was just really like anticlimactic the way they were building it all up. Like, I mean, the end when Ludo came, that was probably the highlight of the entire episode, when he showed up with the spider and the eagle and the rat army.
Oh no, all these episodes had really good cliffhangers.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, I definitely hope more season 3s like this, even though it may not be, because you know, they were able to put this together as a movie, but ooh, man. The monster, and this is another thing that I got too hyped for, because in the very first teaser for this, you have the monster entering Mewni, and you're like, oh my god, like, is this part of Ludo's army? It was just like a random monster in the cornfield. He managed to go to the magical barrier because he was really big, and he's like, oh no, you were telling me to come here, that's why I came here. It's like,
yeah, that whole back and forth. Yeah, when that promo first dropped, I thought it might have been like, yeah, somebody in Ludo's army, or like Ludo used magic to like make himself giant or something like that, but no, it's just some random guy.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Man. I just don't have much to say about this episode.
Yeah, there's really not a lot to say. I mean, it was pretty much just River character development, and then Ludo showed up.
Yeah.
With his army, and then he took over.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the comments and this was your favorite episode, please let us know why. I just didn't really get much out of this episode, and that makes it really hard to talk about.
Yeah.
But then that takes us to Puddle Defender, which was basically Buffrog and Moon putting the differences aside of bonding. We saw Buffrog's kids and Katrina, despite being a late bloomer, she's the only one who can talk. I love that they keep developing his children, because most shows, they would have just been there, they would have been one and done, but like, they're actual characters here, and I love that.
I don't know, that made me really happy to see them like fully grown up. And like when I first saw that promo with Katrina talking, I was like, oh my god, the kids can actually talk. It made me so happy. It's like, oh, I remember when they were little tadpoles. They grow up so fast, dude.
Yeah. And like, I feel like a lot of these episodes, they had a really good pacing, but because like they had like since it was an arc, they had time to flesh everything out. Not much really happened in each individual episode until like the very end.
Exactly.
Like here, most of it was just Star, Buffrog, and Moon hanging out, and it's like, yeah, this is cool. I like these characters, but like, can we get to the Toffee action?
Exactly. I did like the tension between Moon and Buffrog though.
That was very well done, and it was like
their whole back and forth between humans and monsters, and then Buffrog ended up taking her side with the whole, they need to protect their children. He's like, I can't help you escape, Star. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I like how that they got, because from the very beginning, Moon's strongest characteristic that she cared about Star, and she cares about obviously her child, and that's how Buffrog appealed to her at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, Moon realized like, wow, we're both parents. Go to your room.
Oh, jeez.
But the babies ended up helping her escape anyway. She just went out there. It's like, I just gotta go for it. Screw it. Classic Star.
And then that takes us to King Ludo. This episode, I really liked it, although I'm really disappointed, because when Marco was trying to sneak Ludo's key off of him, I really thought, like, do you remember, like, the very first time he tried to take the key and Ludo's sleeping, and it just shows Marco, like, reaching for it, but it doesn't show Ludo?
Yeah.
I was really hoping to hear, hello, Marco. I was ready.
Oh my god, yeah. I was thinking the same thing. If Toffee actually showed up.
But, I mean, and what we got wasn't bad. And Rubariat was back, and
I was really glad to see Rubariat.
Because I was really concerned for a second that like he wasn't going to speak at all, because I remember you voiced this concern before, that like, oh, maybe he's not going to speak because Patrick Stump.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be one of those things like where you hear like a bunch of voices in the background and a whole crowd talking, and he's like moving his mouth, but it's not actually Patrick Stump, but that was definitely him.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. Like, and that was the case in Marco and the King, but here in both Puddle Patrol and Toffee, he's actually here. He's speaking, which made me so happy.
Yeah, I like the interactions that he had with well, do you remember the Jester's name?
No.
Yeah, like it was still funny. I can't remember. It was like Fung Lord or something like that. I can't remember. But the interactions between Barry and the Jester and the Mime, and them just gassing up the Mime the entire time. It's like, the Mime is the true artist here, and the Mime is just like, stop it, guys.
Yeah.
That was funny. That was some good comedic relief right there.
Like I said, again, like these episodes, I mean, I guess King Ludo had a lot, and oh my god, it was really dark, and even though they kind of cop out of it next episode, the beginning of my jaw dropped when Ludo was like, yeah, they're a bit off key, then he just sends them to the sky. I was like, what? What?
It's like, are these kids just, are they dead? They just got randomly set up.
Jesus. I think what would have made King Ludo a bit better is, and I get Ludo's a goofy person, but my biggest, I guess, complaint with the episode, it was too goofy. I really wanted Ludo to be a lot more serious.
Yeah, the entire episode was just like him trying to get, well, I shouldn't say the entire episode, but a lot of his whole goal was like,
to get the
citizen community to like him, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, I really wanted to rule with an iron fist, kind of like, like Dexter's. Do you remember the Dexter's Laboratory movie Ego Trip, and like Mandar took over the future?
Oh yeah.
I really wanted something like that. Like, and I get it, it's Ludo, but they really built up like Toffee taking over Mewni, since all the way back in the episode is Mystery in Season 2, yet Toffee didn't really do anything once Ludo took over. I thought Toffee was going to possess him, like, 100% from there, but we didn't get that.
Yeah. They never really explained, like, the whole possessing thing and how that actually works and why he takes over at those certain moments. It's a little...
I mean, you can just chalk it up to magic.
Yeah! That's true.
I feel like that didn't really need to be explained as much. But let's get to the main event. The final episode, Toffee. This episode was hype. It was hype. It was hype. It was hype.
Oh, this episode was godlike. I didn't think... I was kind of hell-bent. Like, I didn't think he was going to get his full body back. I really didn't. I thought it was going to be, like, if he was going to get defeated, I thought he was going to get defeated, like, inside the, like, spirit wand area. You know, like, when the first half of the episode ended and he was like, hello, princess, and he was, like, giant in all the magic dark goop, I thought he was going to get defeated in there. I did not think he was going to get his body back.
Oh, my God, the entire...
I was so happy.
So, let's start from the beginning.
All right.
Star breaks into Mewni with a rat costume, mascot costume, punches Ludo, decks him right in the face. And she even explains to Ludo, like, you're being controlled, it's your wand. And Ludo, like, doesn't want to hear it. He chains up. So, well, Star and Mark have a reunion in the dungeon, and then I like how Ludo walks in. He has, like, food. He's like, I've been thinking, and he just drops it. Like, that's a cliche in cartoons I haven't seen in a long time. So the way they brought it back was really good.
Yeah, like the last time I can think of something similar to that is remember in Steven Universe when Holly Blue Wagon was like, I don't think anything can spoil this for me, and she sees Greg and Steven getting in the ruby ship.
Yeah, but I feel like it used to be a cliche with like someone like walking in and they have like a bunch of like food and like tea prepared and then they just drop it.
Oh yeah.
Like that specifically I have not seen in so long.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, Star remembers, he's like, oh yeah, I think I know how to get Toffee out. And, like once Ludo actually realizes Toffee's in the wine, he's like, oh my god, like, get him out, like how did he get in there?
Get him out, you were supposed to be dead, get out of here, dude.
But then Star remembers a whispering spell, and they made it seem like Star was gonna die, which I don't know if she knew she was gonna die or if she knew she was gonna go inside Ludo. But it starts glowing, and like they're like, Star, get away! I was like, no! Oh my god! I wish you could have like saw my
started
face.
Tearing up.
But he goes inside. She goes inside Ludo instead, and.
That scene was really funny when she was like talking through Ludo and Moon ended up kissing Ludo on the cheek.
Oh my god.
I was like, oh my god, what am I looking at?
So yeah, Star's inside a bunch of, I guess, dark magic, but it's like kind of like a puddle. And Toffee's back. He's like, hello,
Toffee was
princess. I like how even inside like his, I guess, dark sludge form, he still is missing his middle finger.
Yeah. That's how powerful that spell was, dude.
Yeah.
Gone even in spirit form. But the whole deal with that's how you know Toffee's like really evil, dude. When he got his finger back and the whole deal was like, I'll give you your finger back, but make sure Star's okay. And then he just crushes the other half of the wand.
Yeah, oh my god.
He walks away. I'm like, oh my god.
Toffee, he's such a good villain. But yeah, this episode's pretty straight to the point. Like, once he's actually inside, once Star's inside Ludo, Toffee bargains with Moon. He's like, yeah, I want my finger back. He gets his finger back, which they don't really explain, like, the entire finger thing, because we've seen in Moon the Undaunted. It fades away, like, the finger's gone. So how did Toffee get it back? Because at some point he had to get it back, because he put it inside Star's wand and stormed the castle. So they don't really explain that. Like, did it go somewhere? Did it just fade away? Ugh. Questions.
Yeah, that's really
questions.
Weird. And, like, I guess just the way the whole Septarian race is, I guess they just need their whole body intact to like fully regenerate like that, because he wasn't able, like he needed the finger to get his entire flesh and blood back, and he like grew his flesh over Ludo. That was really creepy when he grew his flesh over Ludo, by the way. Remember that?
No, you see, I don't know if it was all for his finger, because, again, if you watch from the castle, there's a scene of Toffee closing the wand, and we don't see who puts in there. You assume that's his finger, because that's what tainted the wand.
Exactly.
So something's not adding up here because in this episode he gets his finger back and he just walks away. Like, well, you took over Mewni just to get a finger you put inside the wand?
Like his goals are just really weird.
Yeah, they're not explaining something. That
like what was the point? Like, why did it still doesn't make sense? Like, why he killed Moon's mom? Like, what? Why? I don't get it.
Definitely the highlight of this episode was when Toffee reformed. He spits out Ludo. Moon's going in, like her arms start glowing purple. She's like trying to fight him. He's not even phased. Marco punches right through him. Right through a hole in his chest. Ludo
Marco was so strong. He was able to punch through flesh.
I know. Oh my god.
Like, actually, he just chucks Marco to the side. It's like, jeez. Why do you think the spell didn't work? Do you think she was only able to like use it once?
Yeah, I think it was like a one-time deal.
That makes sense.
Okay, but here's the thing. Once Toffee regenerates, we have this scene of Glossary and Star, who, God knows, like, did they even explain what that was? That in just magic purgatory?
I just assumed, I assumed it was some kind of like magic limbo type thing. I have no idea. Because it's not inside the wand, because when Star, like, came out, when she, like, went full butterfly and had her extra arms and stuff like that, she, like, came out of thin air.
Yeah.
You know? Like, she appeared behind the wand. I'm like, okay. Like, yeah. Like, even Glossary didn't even know where they were. Glossary knows everything.
And, it was interesting, because I was rewatching episodes yesterday, in the Season 2 premiere, My New Wand, there's a scene of Star and Glossary inside of Glossary, and he's like, he has like the pod, the chunks and everything, so you gotta dip down, and like he like even uses his hands, reaches into the stew and like pulls out the chunks. And Star does that here. It paid off.
I know, I love that.
And but yeah, we see Star goes full Sailor Moon. She has a transfer sequence and everything. She has her full blown Mewni form that we saw Moon's variation of in both Game of Flags and in Star Crushed. And she fucking obliterates Toffee.
She just, like, one-shots him. It's ridiculous. Well, no, she technically didn't one-shot him. Ludo finished him off, but he got bodied.
Yeah.
That whole scene where he was just getting blown back with a beam of light and his flesh was getting blown back and he was just, oh my god, it was beautiful.
Star's Mewni form is fucking beautiful.
It really is. I love the whole yellow. I really love like the look of her new wand too. How it has the little horns like her headband. That made me so happy.
Which we'll get to in a second because we were tricked, and I think when the show comes back, we're gonna find out who the true villain is. But when she blows, I love how she has a huge smile on her face when Toffee's getting blown away, and Toffee just literally he gets like reduced like a fucking skeleton, a goopy skeleton.
Yeah.
Like,
just a skeleton. Like it's only like his upper half too. Like it was only like torso up.
Yeah.
Gooey skeleton. Like he didn't have his legs. And then Ludo just dropped the castle on him. He's like,
this is the most violent. Yeah, Ludo can use magic on his own now.
Yeah.
Like he didn't need the wand or anything. I was really happy to see that.
Yeah. It did make me happy that Ludo like dealt the finishing blow because Ludo was like somewhat of a victim in this whole thing. You know, Toffee was the one pulling the strings.
Yeah.
You know, he was the reason that Ludo, you know, the castle got destroyed. He lost his army. So it made me happy that he was able to, you know, deal a finishing blow on the person who was manipulating him for all that time. Man,
he was using his eyeball like it was nothing.
I know, it's like that's an eyeball, dude.
But yeah, that's why I don't think Toffee's dead. His skeleton, so he's gonna regenerate. Like, I don't know if they're gonna clean him up or whatever, but like if they leave him there, he's gonna regenerate. Like, if you don't destroy that skeleton, he's just gonna do what he did before. Yeah, exactly. Like he has the finger back, he can regenerate. But and Star's like, yeah, I don't know, like where that spell came from. And then Moon realizes it's Eclipsa. She checks on the crystal. She's still intact. So Moon's like, whew. But then it starts to crack. So a lot of people are telling me on Twitter, no, like Toffee's dead because the spell, Eclipsa can be freed until Toffee was dead. But and I maybe have to rewatch the special. I don't want to give out any accurate information, but like unless I missed something in dialogue wise, I thought as long as Moon used a spell, that would have freed Eclipsa. But then Ramble screwed her over.
No, I think it was like him dying. Like, well, maybe it's just like a stage thing. Maybe since Toffee is like, if he still is alive, maybe since he's like so near death, that's why the crystal only cracked and didn't like fully destroy. Because like when Eclipsa was talking about the darkest spell to Moon, she's like, you gotta aim it at his heart and kill him, and then once he's vanquished, then I can be freed. And she wasn't freed because she only took off his finger in the past. But if he is still alive, because he still does have body parts scattered around, maybe that's why the crystal only cracked and didn't fully, get her free right there. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. Because I really hope I'm on the same boat with you. I don't want that to be the end of Toffee.
Yeah, and River has 2 wives now. He married that eagle.
Oh my god, yeah. That eagle thing was so random.
Also, something interesting Toffee said, he was like, only I know how this ends. I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's like I make the plans.
Yeah. There's something.
I'm the all-knowing being.
We still basically know nothing about Toffee.
Not really. Yeah, we don't really know where he came from, what his goals are, why he's like hateful towards Mewni Castle. I mean, if he really is hateful towards the whole butterfly family, why did he, after he got his finger back, why did he just dip? Was he like going back to, think of a bigger and better plan or something to completely destroy everything? I don't know. It really is weird why he just walked off like that after he got the finger. Because he was in the midst of a war with the humans, but when he still had his finger, so he already had like a goal before that. But I guess he just stopped. Maybe he just stopped caring. I don't know. It's odd.
So this entire special, really good.
Very, very, very good.
Like, I know we may seem like a bit critical on it for people who love it, but no, it was good. Yeah. Like, you're critical of the things you love. And, like I said, I wish some parts were just a bit more serious, but again, I understand it's a children's show. It's it's comedy action adventure, not just action adventure. So it can't be, like, all dark all the time. But the parts that were dark were pretty dark. We don't know what happened to Glossary. The book is supposed to still destroyed. We don't know how that's going to get resolved. We don't know if Glossary is, like... I'm still considering him dead, so...
Yeah, he's just kind of there. I mean, I don't know what's going to go on the spellbook. Like, if they're just going to make a new one. Like, I mean, I don't know how the spellbook would be able to, like, regenerate. It got burned, we saw it get burned. Kastar kind of needs it,
Yeah. But we're going to get a new opening because in the interview that Star's voice actress had yesterday, that interview gave away Star's new wand design early because it was the shot from the opening, but with her new wand. So that means we're going to get a slightly updated intro with the wand, and probably the antagonist shot is going to get replaced now that obviously Ludo's not possessed anymore. So we're going to find out who the new antagonist is, and maybe Eclipsa will be there, maybe Toffee will be there, like regenerated.
Toffee in his like normal form again.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm surprised they only had that opening just for this movie.
Well, like, the thing is, like, these were originally produced as 7 episodes, so we would have had this opening for, like, 7 or so episodes.
True.
Yeah. Which is really good, because Season 2 basically has Season 1's opening with just, like, an updated crowd shot, which it was already outdated. Here, I'm glad they're actually updating it as it goes along, which, huge improvement. But do you have any further thoughts? Because anything else I have to say, I gotta say for videos. I don't want to spill everything I have to say here.
I think we pretty much covered it all.
Yeah.
Some of the best 2 hours of my life.
Oh, dude, it was worth waking up. It was worth staying up at 3 a.m. and seeing it was now on the app than waking up at 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. Actually, I woke up at 8 a.m. to catch it. Yeah. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know if you think Toffee's dead or not. And if you made it to the end of this 40-minute review or ramble, whatever you want to call it, just let us know. We're going to hit you with a lot of theories and discussions this summer. And subscribe to Marcus' personal channel. He has a lot of Star theories, and he has a lot of what-if videos. He's overall pretty good content. Give him some love. Is there a specific video you want people to watch, Marcus?
I mean, I got a solo review going up probably around the same time as you, so if you want to check out my solo review, if you can see you'll be able to see my beautiful face, boys and girls. If you want to see that.
Yeah, this video probably won't be like too spectacularly edited. It'd probably just be like a still image and review, just because this is much more of a podcast. And you know, there's probably no good rip of a movie out yet, and I don't want to use like horrible footage or anything. So
yeah, no, like 240p images.
Yeah. So, Ostrich Vox and VGMarkis, signing out.
Bye-bye!
This video has been powered by Patreon. If you want to give us some more support, head to patreon.com/roundtablevids, become a patron, and get some awesome perks. Thanks for watching another video on the Roundtable. If you want to get more involved with our community and watch videos from Let's Talk with Tom, Voxbox, and more, click the video right here. Or if you want to get some more of the animation goodness, watch some Crystal Clear or Meaning Monday, click the video right here. And please, don't forget to subscribe.